Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexis and I am a fourth year PhD student studying Biological Oceanography at the University of Hawaii at Mānoa. I study zooplankton ecology and deep sea ecology, and I thought it would be a really cool idea to kind of do this video on the different graduate school programs that I applied to, how my application experience went, like which schools I actually heard back to compared to which schools I just got rejected from, the interview process, speaking with faculty, kind of all of that. I wanted to share my experience applying to graduate school programs. This was back in 2019, I guess like summer to fall of 2019. I started graduate school in August 2020, so right in the middle of the pandemic. And yeah, I just wanted to share my experiences and some of my mistakes when I was applying to graduate school. This was like 4 years ago when I was applying, and since then I've learned a lot about graduate school just from being in it, being exposed to it, and also a lot about the graduate school application process, what they're looking for, and what determines whether or not you're admitted. So yeah, I just thought this could be an interesting video for anyone that's interested in applying to graduate school and to kind of learn from my mistakes and yeah, just to learn from my own experience doing this application process. So first, I guess I can tell you a little bit about my academic background and why I wanted to go to graduate school. I did my undergraduate at the University of Arizona, and I studied ecology and evolutionary biology, as well as molecular and cellular biology. I had two minors, one in marine science and the other in biochemistry. So basically, I was just really interested in ecology, I think, and projects with like a conservation focus. So when I was in undergrad, I helped out a little bit in a plant lab, but I think my most significant research experience as an undergrad was working in this herpetology urban ecology lab. So where I studied lizards and snakes and kind of the effects of urbanization on these different species in the desert. So yeah, I guess I focused heavily on reptile research when I was in undergrad, but I was also doing this marine science minor. So I took a lot of courses on marine ecology, ocean sciences, like intertidal ecology and stuff like that. And I think I just like always thought that marine biology would be really cool to study and really cool like field work. Yeah, just a lot to learn, like a lot to discover in the deep sea, in the ocean. So much of it is like unexplored compared to like terrestrial or wildlife biology. So yeah, I kind of made the decision in my senior year that I kind of wanted to apply to marine science programs rather than continuing on in like the world of herpetology or doing something more like terrestrial. So that was kind of like a really big decision to make, to switch from herpetology, like what I had spent all of my undergrad focused in, now like exploring this brand new path of marine science, marine biology, and marine ecology, marine conservation, which I had a little bit of like course experience and like some knowledge on the topic, but really no like research experience in this field. So that was a little bit difficult when I came to the graduate application process. I just like didn't have a leg up because I don't know, there was so much that I was missing, it felt. Even though I had the very strong like ecology and biology background, which has been like extremely helpful in my graduate career now. I think I just found it a little bit challenging because I didn't know what like the current hot like topics in marine biology or marine science even were. So I had a lot of work to do when I got into my graduate school applications. And basically I was a senior in undergrad and I started thinking like, oh, I should apply to graduate school because I really enjoy research and I would love to continue this, but I started really late in the game. I think they recommend doing all of this research the summer before, like during your senior year, the summer before your senior year. So you're submitting applications in like December, January, and I feel like I started it really late, maybe more like September, because I felt really late in the game when I was contacting faculty, like in a mad panic, because I did some research and realized, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be like finding a faculty member to work with. And I think I completely underestimated how important faculty were. Faculty and funding, those are the two like biggest factors, and I just completely did not understand that. I thought it was going to be more similar to applying to undergraduate programs where like your transcripts, your CV, your experiences really speak for themselves, and they're kind of just going to choose the best people. Yeah, so I really underestimated the emailing faculty, and at this point I also had to take the GRE, so I was studying for that all in my senior year, and then I quickly found out that this was just like not gonna happen. It was way overwhelming to like study and prepare for the GRE while also finishing up my senior year classes and like research. So I just decided to take a gap year to kind of figure it out and reapply. I didn't apply during my senior year. I kind of just like scrapped the idea. It felt like giving up, but I think it was the right choice to just like spend a little bit more time, because even my second time when I was like actually applying during my gap year, I was already graduated. It was 2019. Even then, I like made a lot of mistakes where I just really underestimated the importance of contacting and talking to faculty to find out who's accepting graduate students and yeah, like what sorts of projects I wanted to study in graduate school. So I thought, you know, my best bet is to just put out tons of applications like undergrad, see where I get in, email tons and tons of like 10 faculty members at each school. So the schools that I applied to were all in marine science, right? I wanted to focus on marine biology or marine ecology to kind of use what I know. Like I had a really strong background in ecology, and I took a lot of marine science courses around ecology and conservation issues, like coral reefs and like overfishing, stuff like that. So I wanted to like play on my strengths and kind of continue in something in that realm of marine science. So the 9 different schools that I applied to, the first is Hopkins Marine Station at Stanford University, and the second is MIT/Woods Hole, which is a very good school for a PhD in biological oceanography. So this is probably where I first found out that marine biology is very similar to biological oceanography. I wasn't even considering oceanography when I was applying, like didn't even know what it was. Didn't mean much to me. I didn't think that was what I wanted to go into. I didn't think I wanted to be an oceanographer because maybe I thought that was more like physical oceanographers or chemical oceanographers. I didn't really think they were like marine biologists and ecologists in oceanography. But that was probably where I first encountered that term, like biological oceanography. I also applied to University of Miami for a PhD in marine biology and ecology. I applied to the University of Hawai'i at Mānoa in their zoology department because I saw that's where the marine biology graduate program was nested in, and also in the oceanography departments. I applied to University of San Diego Scripps Institution of Oceanography for a PhD in marine biology. Anyone that knows oceanography or like marine biology has probably heard of Scripps. They're a really good program in San Diego, right by the beach. So this was like one of my top choices, probably my top 2. I also had University of Washington. I was applying for a master's in aquatic fishery sciences. So I think I must have been applying for the master's because maybe the master's was required in order to apply for the PhD. And aquatic fisheries, I'm not sure why. Maybe that was just where marine biology topics were kind of nested in. But yeah, I like Washington. I thought like that could be a cool place. I applied to University of Southern California for a PhD in biological sciences to do like marine biology and biological oceanography. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm from LA, so like going to USC kind of would have also been a dream for me. It's very close to home, but I know it's a very good school, and they do really cool like biological oceanography research. I really liked their program. Also Duke University for a PhD in marine science and conservation. So this would have been like maybe the farthest place that I was applying to, honestly, on the East Coast. But I know I had visited North Carolina before and liked it, so maybe that's why I thought maybe I would want to go to Duke. And the last one, the 9th one, was Moss Landing Marine Lab, which is through the Cal States. I think there's a few different Cal States that you can apply to if you're interested in that graduate program. And I can't remember for the life of me which one I applied to, but it was probably like CSU Monterey Bay or something like that. I can't really remember, but those are the 9 different programs that I applied to for graduate school. And out of these 9, I think I definitely tried to make it a point to contact at least like 5, maybe 10 faculty at each of the schools. But I remember that I was doing this very, very late, like very late in the game. I kind of just tried to prioritize the statement of purpose and like my CV, that emailing faculty kind of like came second to me, when it really should have been the opposite way around. Like I should have identified schools and then faculty right away before like working on the statement of purpose and everything. But I just didn't know the importance of that. So I did email them, and I feel that the emails that I sent out were pretty strong, right? Because I had found resources online showing like what makes a good email, what to include, and I think my emails were pretty strong. I did receive some emails back, like from most schools. I think I must have received like at least one email back that was like, I'm not accepting grad students at the time, or like directing me to other people that might have been accepting grad students. I think the emails that I was sending out were okay, but I didn't hear from many faculty that were actively like looking for grad students. And I know that I set up a few phone calls with some of these. I believe the schools that I talked to actual faculty members at were, let's see, I don't think I talked to anyone from Stanford. I don't think I talked to anyone from Woods Hole. University of Miami, I also didn't talk to anyone, which is interesting. University of Hawaii, I know that I talked to one oceanography advisor that I work very closely with now, but I'm not in their lab. And yeah, that was like really exciting for me, because it was finally someone that I really saw myself working with on like a very cool, closely related project to what I'm doing now. So that was really like exciting for me to hear back from someone, to interview with someone, even though I didn't get in, which is a little bit funny thinking about it now, because it's someone I work like pretty close with. Scripps, I'm not totally sure if I talked to anyone from Scripps, maybe just over email, but I don't know that I had any phone calls with anyone there. University of Washington, same. I don't remember contacting very many people from there, or like talking to very many. University of Southern California, I think I talked to like 1 or 2 people over a phone call. Same with Duke, and same with Moss Landing. Like I think I had a lot of contact with Moss Landing actually. And I talked to a brand new faculty member that was actively looking for people. But I think it was just really made clear in my phone calls with them that I had no idea what I wanted to study, right? Because I just cast such a like wide net to just like, someone will accept me if I just say I'm interested in everything. But I think that was a mistake, because it probably came off as this person just has no idea what they want to do. Like they think they want to go to grad school, and like maybe they do, but they just have no idea of what the heck they want to study, which is very important if you're going to be spending like 5 to 7 years studying this one thing. It's very important that you're studying like the right thing and something that you actually care about, that's exciting to you, or you're just like really not going to enjoy it. But yeah, I think I kind of just thought, I want to get into somewhere, I want to study this, I don't really care where it is, I just gonna like apply to everywhere, say I'm interested in like these broad things. So I think it didn't come off great in my phone interviews actually. But yeah, out of those like 9 schools that I applied to, that I spent a lot of money on sending my transcripts to, my GRE scores, the actual applications, which can be anywhere from like $75 to $125, like the more prestigious schools like Stanford and like MIT, I think that's closer to $125. Hawaii was $100. So yeah, out of those, like, you know, a few emails back and forth, maybe somewhere around 10 phone calls with actual faculty members or like Zooms, I only got accepted into 2 programs. And this was like really shocking to me. After getting like rejection after rejection, I just thought, wow, there's an actual chance that I like don't get into anywhere. And this was really what I was trying to avoid, right? This is why I applied to 9 different programs, was to just get into somewhere. And real quick, if you're getting any value out of this video, please give it a big like and hit the subscribe button to not miss any more videos about the graduate school application process or life as a PhD student in Hawaii. Back to the video. And I remember hearing back from University of Miami first, because I got invited to go to their interview, like recruitment weekend that was in February. I believe I hadn't heard back from Hawaii when I was still there. So at this point, I was in Miami interviewing for the certain lab. So it became very clear to me when I got there who exactly was interested in me. It wasn't everyone there. It was 2 specific faculty members that wanted to get to know me a little bit more, wanted me to interview with them, but to also learn more about the rest of the faculty and like research that they're doing there. So yeah, it was a really fun interview, like weekend in Miami. They paid for my flight, they paid for my hotel, fed me, like we had all of these social events. I got to meet the other applicants, which is also weird because it was very clear like who I was directly competing with for the same lab, and that was kind of weird. Yeah, they took us out on the boat, like their research vessel. Yeah, they took us out along the like bay and everything. It was really nice. I felt really spoiled. I was very excited. I was interviewing for this marine genomics lab that did a little bit more coastal work, but at the time it was like very interesting because I knew I wanted to do marine science. I wanted to study like fish and stuff. They studied fish, and I really loved genetics and genomics. So this was a genomics lab, and I thought, wow, perfect. I can like use everything I've used and like apply it to like my future research, even though I had no idea what I wanted to do in the future. But anyway, this interview went very, very well. And like the 2 people that I was interviewing with, I felt like we got along very well. I fit in with their graduate students, which is like one of the most important things. It sounded like a good fit for me, and I really liked the other graduate students in the program. The campus was really beautiful. It was like the main University of Miami campus, their little campus here, closer to the beach. They had their own pier, their like bar right by the water. I don't know. It just felt like a great school. I really liked all of the people that I met there. And at that point, that was the only school that had like accepted me for an interview at least, so that I had heard something positive back from. So I remember when I got back, there were a few more rejections, and then I got the offer letter from University of Miami. I did not reply to it right away, which is really good because I was kind of waiting to hear back from University of Hawaii, which was my top choice, because basically my top 3 were University of Hawaii because it just sounded like a dream to me. I really loved the open ocean research that they were doing. I loved their deep sea mining project. And yeah, it just sounded like a dream to study literally anything in the ocean here in Hawaii. It could have been sharks, it could have been coral reef, or like deep sea ocean ecology. It just sounded like a dream to me. And my second top choice was Scripps, which I ultimately did not get into, but it's in San Diego, and I'm from LA, so this was like just 2 hours away. People say San Diego weather is like beautiful, perfect. It's by the beach, there's surfing. And I knew Scripps was like a really good school, because when I was looking at faculty, I was noticing that most of them were coming from Scripps, Hawaii, or like University of Washington is what I was seeing. So yeah, those are my top two, and Miami was in my top three. I think I just kind of liked the place because it was far away, but it was like the LA of the East Coast, I feel like warm, beach, young people, fun. I think that's ultimately why it was in my top three. But yeah, shortly after, in like March, just out of nowhere, I got an email from a professor at the University of Hawai'i at Mānoa, and it was not a professor that I had talked to earlier in the application process. I talked to someone different whose lab I did not get into, but my current advisor reached out to me asking if I wanted to study midwater zooplankton in this deep sea mining project. And I thought, wow, like this is exactly the project that I wanted to work at. I would love to study the deep sea. I didn't really know too much about zooplankton, honestly, but I really liked the project. It had like a bit of a conservation focus to it, and I thought, wow, like I gotta say yes, this is like my top choice. The project sounds amazing. So I just said, yes, I'm like really interested. We can set up a Zoom. I think we set up like a Skype phone call to talk a little bit more about it, for her to gauge my interest and like me to ask any questions. And I remember it being like a very quick phone call for making such a major decision, and just, yeah, deciding that, yep, I'm gonna go to Hawaii for grad school in like, I don't know, a 10-minute phone call or something like that. But yeah, I basically kind of committed over the phone, received my offer letter, and decided, yep, I'm gonna be going to University of Hawaii. At this point, because I applied to the zoology and the oceanography department, I had the option to go into marine biology or oceanography, but I ultimately decided to go for oceanography because I had heard that if you need a TA-ship, priority kind of goes to the oceanography students, because oceanography is a department and marine biology is only a program. Like, it doesn't really have its own department. So yeah, that's kind of why I went in through the oceanography department, and I basically accepted the offer from Hawaii, told University of Miami, like, I've actually went with this other program, thank you so much, like it was great meeting you guys. I didn't want to like burn any bridges, right? I still wanted to be nice and respectful, and said like, hope our paths cross in the future, because I know it's a small field. And yeah, that's how I ended up where I currently am at the University of Hawaii at Mānoa. My number one choice. I only got into 2 programs out of the 9 that I applied to, but 2 of them were in my top 3, so I would consider that a win, especially given that I had no idea what I was doing when I was applying. Like, I thought I'd done my research, and I realized that I really just needed to start earlier. So start early, take a gap year if necessary, and I really underestimated like the importance of contacting faculty and getting faculty that want to work with you. I kind of thought that sending those initial emails were enough, like, oh, they'd heard of me, I'd tried, I can at least say I'd been in email contact with someone from the school, but there were very few that like actually wanted to work with me at that point. So I think it was like pretty lucky to get into University of Miami and University of Hawaii, where I didn't really have like a set advisor in mind when I got into the place. So yeah, very, very lucky on my end to even get into those programs. I think I just kind of thought it was going to be like undergrad, where like if I just submitted a really good application, the application would speak for itself. I like had no idea that the faculty members already probably have someone in mind if they have funding and are looking for students. Like, they're not just gonna look through a bunch of applications and think like, yeah, I guess I can use that person. Like, that person sounds good. Like, it really is just so important to make contact with these faculty, find faculty members that are actively accepting students or are willing to take you if you find your own funding. And that's also where I messed up too, is not applying for external funding such as the NSF GRFP, the NOAA Nancy Foster, Ford Fellowship Foundation, Fulbright, all of those things. I just didn't realize the importance of funding. I don't know. I thought like the professors just have money, the schools have money, they all have money and they'll just take me, which is not the case at all. Like, funding is really hard to come by, and a lot of faculty would love to take you, they just don't have the funding. So yeah, faculty and funding, biggest things to learn from my application experience. And I think the last one was just like not knowing what I wanted to do, like going in and just thinking that I can do anything. And I think that came off a little as like not knowing what I wanted to do in grad school, just thinking that, like, I don't know, just kind of downplaying how important that one project would be for like 5 to 7 years, and not fully understanding that when I was applying. And I think that probably came through in some of the conversations that I had with professors. But yeah, there you go. That was my graduate school application experience. I've learned a lot about the grad school process since then, since I applied like 4 years ago. And yeah, if you're interested in applying to grad school for a master's or PhD program, I'd really like to do you a favor and like provide some resources to help make your graduate application experience and process so much easier than mine was, and like not having to just figure it all out yourself. So I have this how to apply to graduate school playlist or series that you can check out, where I go over how to apply to grad school in general, what you need to know, how to apply to Mānoa Oceanography, how to prepare for PhD interviews, how to craft your CV for an application, how to write an outstanding statement of purpose, what to know before applying to the NSF GRFP and how to do that. We also have a few videos that are more specific to international students that would like to obtain a master's or PhD in the US and what they need to know. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any of that, please check out those videos, and I wish you all the best of luck with your graduate school applications. And of course, feel free to contact me either on Instagram, send me a DM on like specific questions that you have about grad school life, application process, or like what it's like to be a grad student in Hawaii. Comment on any video, and I would really love to help you guys with this process. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.